Welcome to Selective Hearing Radio episode 61. That's 6-1 for those of you out there who are counting. With me tonight are all of us, Alan and Ping and me. Yay! So we're going to talk about IU, the mythical Pokemon called IU.
What are you talking about? She's not mythical. I've seen her in person now. It's for real.
well, I guess before you saw her in real life, she was mythical, right? So
yes.
Now she's been downgraded to regular Pokemon. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's just I know that she's real now. But I get the idea. Because wasn't able to like throw a Pokeball at her and add her to my roster or anything, or my starting team, but she is very much a well sought out Pokemon.
Okay. Yes, you need lots of Pokeballs to catch her, apparently. So, gentlemen, let's introduce ourselves first. We'll start with Alan. It has been a while since we have chatted. What's up?
Not too bad. I'm doing all right. Hey everybody, this is Alan, aka HEREH. I'm glad to be back on the show. Talking about IU and everything. It's gonna be awesome. What am I drinking tonight? I found some HEREH soju, the zero sugar one. Thank you, Lee Cheon. I'm able to finally drink her soju that I've been seeing for like months now, and it's awesome. Usually I like to have a nice drink at night, but lately I've been drinking a lot of like these it's called a high seltzer. It's with some little THC, so it's been a nice alternative to an alcoholic drink, so I can have something nice to sleep with. So best sleep I've had in a while has been this soju and this high seltzer. So, cheers!
Wow, so getting your THC on now, huh?
I've always enjoyed it in edible form. Now I've been trying it in drink form. Actually, it's been very recent. It's only been like a couple weeks, and now I've been looking up a lot of different like THC drinks and the dosages, I guess you could say, on it. This one here has 1 second. This one here has 5 milligrams, so I think that would be a good balance for me going forward. But I've seen some with a little bit lower dosage. I saw one with like 8. I don't know how high it can get for it to be legal in a drink, but I guess that'll be something that I'll look into in the future.
Okay, well, maybe we'll have a new sponsor after you figure out what's going on with the THC stuff.
Maybe. Otherwise, I'd be drinking. Oh man, I don't have. I have some Jinro, but I've been wanting to drink this HEREH for a while. So, sorry, IU.
Yes, sorry, IU. We can't get high enough for you yet. Anyway, Ellis, it's been a couple of weeks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, Ellis, aka Ping. Glad to join you guys once again for another K-pop related podcast. Thank you for having me. I'm just drinking a latte, a decaf latte, and it's late, so I'm trying to cut my caffeine. Anything after like 5 p.m., no more caffeine. So, but I just love the smell of coffee beans, so decaf.
Damn, 5 p.m. I gotta cut my coffee intake after like noon, otherwise it'll be like tweaked out.
Honestly, I only drink like 1 cup of coffee a day. Like even then, I try not to do it. But I recently got an espresso machine, and it's just been really addictive making all these different kind of coffee drinks.
Yeah, I'm like a 4 to 5 cup coffee person every day. So
Oof, that's a lot of caffeine.
I know. That's why I got to cut myself off.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a lot of caffeine, dude. I can see why you got to cut yourself off at noon.
I'll live.
You'll live? Yeah, I guess so. You'll be okay as long as you don't overdose on the caffeine too much. But you kind of need it for your job anyway. I think.
No comment.
All right. So for me, I'm drinking green tea and water. That's how awesome I am today.
Is that green tea with water or green tea with water on the side?
So I got a cup of green tea and I got a bottle of water for later when I finish the green tea. And I have an orange. I don't know if that counts as liquid or not. That's what I got.
That makes me the resident alcoholic, I guess. So
Yes.
Let's go.
You will get more irritated and annoyed as the podcast goes on, apparently.
Gosh, I hope not. I'm usually pretty okay with a few drinks, but
Well, we'll see what your answers are for the questions. So let's move on to the actual world tour for IU because we got a whole bunch of stuff to cover here. So, world tour announcement came earlier this year, I believe. How hyped were you for this tour before it started?
I guess I'll go. For me, I've been a pretty casual IU fan. I do like her songs and everything, but I'm not hardcore, follower or anything like that. But when they showed that they were doing 6 cities, I believe, from what it says here, 6 cities, I was like, okay, it's gonna be a little tough. But my friends, two of my friends, Brian and Shri, they are more of a hardcore IU fan than I am, and they wanted to go. So I was always like, yeah, if you end up, we could try to get tickets and everything. I'll end up coming with y'all. Let's go. So I did have a little bit of hype for it. Hanging in other Discords, I saw a lot of people that were super hyped about it. So I was on that bandwagon for a little bit. So I could say I was pretty in the middle. I would say my hype level was like a 7 or so when they announced it.
I see. And Alice, how about you?
Yeah, so for me, I've actually been an IU fan since like shortly after her debut. And I had always regretted not seeing IU when she had first come to the States at KCON, I believe in 2014. It was like one of my life's major K-pop regrets was not going to KCON LA in I think it was 2014. So like every year it was always a situation of like, is IU ever gonna come to the US? Like I know she feels herself personally that she would not maybe be successful here or something, but hopefully this tour has kind of shown like how much her reach extends beyond the borders of South Korea, right? So like she is not just loved nationally in South Korea, she's loved internationally, especially in the US. And yeah, I mean, just a lot of hype for this concert because again, I had been waiting. How long? She debuted in, I believe, 2007, maybe 2008. So pretty much around since then. So about 15, 16 years. Have been waiting for her to have her own tour in the States. I mean, not necessarily, like the first 1 or 2 years, right? But like once K-pop started becoming more, just coming over to the States more regularly, like everyone, like there's so many bands, so many idol groups, so many artists that are coming from Korea and performing in the US. Finally, the opportunity has come where IU, as you said, like the mythical Pokemon, the most beloved artist of South Korea has come to the United States. And yeah, for me, hype level was 10, especially after seeing her movie in the concert movie that she had in the States. It was kind of like the precursor, and I'm pretty sure it was used as kind of like market research to see how her movie would do across the country and maybe pick some cities on where her tour would be based off of that. But yeah, you know, like once her movie came out, it was kind of became a situation where, yeah, you know, this is a very high possibility that she's going to be coming soon. And when it was announced, it was like, oh my goodness, it's actually happening. You know, this is not a drill. This is actually going to happen. IU's actually going to be coming to the States. And the question is just like, how are we actually going to be able to get tickets for this? Because, she severely underestimated her popularity here. So yeah, for me, definitely hype level 10. You know, if tech really even beyond 10, it was like if you could go like 11 or 12 out of 10, that's where my hype level was for this tour.
I totally forgot about the movie. When she had the movie in the theaters, it was pretty sold out around, from what I saw, from a lot of cities and a lot of showings. So that was, like you were saying, it was a good litmus test to see if she would pull any crowds or anything like that. But I remember reading that a lot of packed shows, a lot of packed theaters that were sold out, a lot of older people in those theaters too. So she really did have that. She really did have some hype going into the show. So I totally forgot about that. I remember going to the show, going to see it too, and I was like, oh man, I was like, if she ever does come here, I gotta try. I gotta go see. So I know it wasn't gonna be like her in the the hot air balloon or anything like that, but it was one of those things. I was like, man, you're right. It is that litmus test. So I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and anyone who is a dedicated K-pop fan, maybe not necessarily a 4th gen stan or a 5th gen stan, but anybody who's been around, at least maybe 5-6 years, knows IU and how loved she is, not just in South Korea. And like, she could probably do a stadium tour in the US. And that was the feeling that I got from a lot of other people that I know who are familiar with IU and her level. And, I know that IU, she always says that, or it always seems like she is kind of down on herself when it comes to her international audience. But again, like I said earlier, hopefully this tour has shown that, she could do stadiums in the US. And, even if her or her company had an idea that maybe they could do stadiums, I think, having this sellout type of tour definitely raises the hype level for the next tour, which I do feel 2026 is my prediction for the next IU tour. And then it will be a stadium tour. You heard it here first, folks.
The bold prediction. For me, I am the most casual of all of the Selective Hearing staff. I only know IU as an actress and a spokesmodel and a YouTube show host. I don't actually listen to a lot of her music. I only started getting into her recently. So, yeah, I guess my hype level wasn't as high as the other guys. But I do understand in the context of K-pop that this was a very rare opportunity to see her perform. So even though I'm not like a super fan or anything, I knew that if I was able to get a ticket to this, that would be a major achievement. So yeah, my hype level is probably like 5. Maybe later on it'll be different, but for this tour it was a 5. Which city did you guys choose to go to, and did you have any difficulties getting tickets?
For me, it was either going to be Atlanta and Washington at first. So with my 2 friends, we shot for Atlanta first, but we saw the demand and the queue for everything on the East Coast, and we're like, oh man, I don't think we can get Atlanta. In one of my other Discords I'm in, they were all shooting for Washington, D.C., and I was like, okay, that would be my second, but my friends didn't want to go there, so we were gonna be strategic, and we were gonna be like, okay, you know what? We'll shoot for Oakland, next to last date on that one. They've never been to San Francisco, so they wanted to go to San Francisco just for vacation stuff, and then we can go over to Oakland for the show. So we ended up choosing Oakland as our destination city, only because it was so hard to get tickets at anything on the East Coast that we had to gamble for Oakland and Los Angeles, and we decided that day, we're like, okay, we're gonna shoot for Oakland and we're gonna try for that one there. So Oakland was our destination.
How about you, Ellis? Did you stick closer to home, or were you gonna do the Stacy thing and go everywhere?
Yeah, like if I had unlimited funds, I would have gone to every stop. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff happening these days. So many tours. It's just like nonstop, one after the other. So I was trying to be strategic. I wanted to go. So I'm from New York, so the closest stop would have been Newark, New Jersey. Went for that one, and I wanted to go for LA, but you know, the way that fate would have it, I was only able to get tickets for New Jersey. Yeah, like I wanted to do first stop, last stop at minimum, but I was only able to get the first stop, which, you know, better than no stops.
And it's closer to home for you. It's just a simple drive under the tunnel, right?
Exactly. Tunnel, bridge, you know, however. But yeah, you know, at least I was able to attend the one where I was close to home.
Yeah. So no flights and hotels for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, I was aiming for Los Angeles. That was the one that I wanted. That's the one that would give me the opportunity to save enough money to go. And when I got into the queue, there was like a million people ahead of me. So I pretty much gave up.
I think, you're not the only one that had that. I remember seeing the queue like go up to like 60,000 in some cities. And I'm like, do I even want to try this? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was 56,000 in LA. Queue number.
Damn.
And I was, I believe, 28,000 in New Jersey. So I was totally out of the ball game. And I was just was able to get a ticket for New Jersey through a friend.
Yeah, I remember we were trying to score for the Oakland show, and it was me and my friends, and I was on the Ticketmaster app, and I was like, well, crap, I'm like 20,000, and I accidentally closed out the app on accident, just instinctively, because I was like, I didn't think I would score anything. So it took, you know, multiple accounts and multiple users, but we were lucky to get in on one of them, and able to get floor seats on one of them. But it was just like, it was just a crapshoot, man. And I thought we were prepared. I was telling my friends, I was like, hey, it's not looking good for us. We better get multiple accounts. We better get ready for the West Coast side of things. So they thought it was going to be, you know, easy. But I was like, man, we did not, or I'm sorry, we underestimated the attraction, the 60,000 in queue, the 70,000 in queue. We had to like pivot in the middle of the day to figure out where we were going, what we were shooting for. It was crazy, you know. And I've always been in these like Ticketmaster access like situations and things like that, but I just remember that day just being like, man, we have to change our mind on like the cities that we wanted to go to, or the city we wanted to go to, just in the span of like 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, we're not gonna score over in Washington DC, we're not gonna score in Atlanta, let's go for Oakland. And all right, cool, we'll go all in on that one. And it was just a crazy day for like the ticketing on that one. Again, a lot of Ticketmaster stuff for big K-pop shows. I always expect for some crazy shenanigans to go on. And I was also waiting on, like, yeah, just like you were saying, Ping, were they gonna announce like a second night at each stop? And they never did, and I was kind of like very much surprised. I would have been able to go a second day and to see, and I would have spent money on it, but just like you said, I think they were just trying to generate that sellout for every show, and I'm still very surprised. I thought I know IU could have done a second night at each stop, but I was very surprised that that second run of dates never showed up, and we never had to deal with it at that point.
I'm surprised that you thought that the ticketing wouldn't be an issue, because like for me, I knew that not only would you get the standard queues of somebody like a Twice, but you'd also get everybody else. Like, I don't know if you remember, but Twice queues were in the 20,000s, if not more. And like IU doesn't bring just the K-pop fans, it brings all the other Korean people too. So like I was fully expecting that the queues would be absolutely insane, and like pretty much like if you're not in right from the beginning, you're not getting in.
I would say with my friends that were anticipating on going, they thought it was going to be a little bit easier, because it's like, you know, hey, IU's not super popular among the younger crowd. We'll be able to get in just because we're quote unquote older fans. I'm like, part of me was like, we still got to prepare. So I was expecting, like, you know, like you were saying, like the 20K in queue. When I logged in to see like 60K in the queue, that kind of shocked me. Like, I got taken aback. Like, I had like the sense of urgency that hit at that time. I never had that type of sense of urgency for like Twice, even though I bought tickets like 4 times to them, you know. I never had the sense of urgency with like other groups, like with G-Idol coming up. I never had that sense of urgency. It was different. I wouldn't say it was similar, but it was just different for us because we were trying to get 3 at the time, and I had to tell them, I'm like, hey, we got to prepare. We got to make sure we're in. So it was just a little different. It was a little different on that end. If it was just me going, then I would have been like, okay, I'm in. Okay, we'll go here. Hey, can somebody get me my ticket in Discord? You know, going to all the Discords, be like, hey, can somebody just get me my ticket and I'll pay you later? This was more like, I am getting my ticket, or I'm going to try to get me and 2 other people's tickets. And I was locked out basically because I was 20K in the queue or 60K in the queue, and I had to rely on them to get the ticket at that point.
Yeah, so like really straightforward. It's like, not because I understand what you're trying to say. We're like, oh yeah, like a lot of our fans are older, like they're not going to be as hardcore. But you got to understand, like there's not like people like me who have been waiting, a lot of people like me who have been waiting years and years for IU, and all these people who are K-pop fans. K-pop skews younger. K-pop is a younger demographic, and you know, all the people who were IU fans for generations, 2nd gen, 3rd gen, 4th gen, and now 5th gen, all these people who became IU fans during that time, and she's consistently put out great music and done, you know, like Greg was into. He talked about she does acting, she does her YouTube, she does all these different things, and her popularity just continues to grow. And the people who are older, you know, you got to remember, like 2nd gen people who grew up with IU, and then 3rd gen people who also grew up with IU, and then there's 4th gen people who also grew up with IU, because she continually puts out music, and you know, like high quality music that, you know, everybody loves. And it just only makes it harder and harder, because everyone who grew up with her now has the money to spend on her concert and her tour. And like, it's not the same situation as it is with like a regular K-pop artist, because this is not like an idol. This is a, you know, for all intents and purposes, basically like a Beyonce or a Taylor Swift level type of artist from South Korea. And, you know, a lot of idol fans, I always say target demographic is teenage girls. And, you know, when it comes to idol shows, it's really parents who are shelling out the money for their kids to go to these idol shows a lot of times. But for IU, it's not just kids who want to go. It's everybody, kids, millennials, Gen Z, Zoomers, Gen X, right? And even older, like even like boomers, they're going to want to go to IU, right? So that's really the difference with an IU tour versus like any regular idol or artist or just like her presence, her dominance in the Korean cultural scene, not just music, like Korean culture. That's kind of the impact that IU has had, not just to K-pop fans, but to anyone who is interested in the Korean culture and anyone who is Korean, right? I mean, the you'll see like the dates that she chose specifically for her concert tour, high Korean population in all of these cities. Probably the lowest is actually Chicago. And honestly, for me personally, it was a little bit of a question, like, oh, she did Chicago instead of like Houston or something. But like maybe like I said earlier, maybe the movie tickets kind of skewed, like it'd be better to do a show in Chicago instead of Houston. So I'm not really sure like why they chose Chicago instead of like a Houston, but they did their research, I guess. And but yeah, that's the way it ended up. So yeah, like IU is just that kind of sensation, is that she has that kind of impact. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting to hear about people who were surprised about like how the queue ended up being for IU. But I know a lot of the people that I knew totally expected that she was gonna be pulling these kind of numbers for her tour. A lot of people have been waiting for her.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a reality check when I got in. I was like, holy shit, this is a big deal. And when I had to relate that over to my friends, I was like, hey, it's a big deal. This is a big deal. Shit, I gotta be logged into my work computer and my phone, and I hadn't had that in a minute. So I was like, yeah, I got a huge reality check right away. I was like, well, and then after we got our tickets, I was like, you know what? I had to like make peace with it. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. She's awesome. She's that popular. I just didn't think of like the big spectrum of like that pent up demand, like you were saying, like, it was the mythical Pokemon. We've been joking about it in our Discord for months now. It's like, oh yeah, the mythical Pokemon. We better try to catch it. We better go try to catch her at the show. And it's just been, it just didn't click to me until that day. And I was like, you know what? This all makes sense. And obviously talking about it's just like, what was I thinking back then? I was like, oh yeah, it was gonna be easy going. We get tickets, no problem. And I was barely able to squeak, a floor ticket at the very end. So, yeah, I totally, I totally have that different mindset from when I first started thinking about going to see her to after I see her on that one. So, yeah, it was very much legit at that point.
That reminds me of when the tour got announced, and I was telling Greg, if there's only one concert that you go to this year, make it IU.
I remember that.
That's the hype level that I was expecting this concert. Yeah, that's the hype level I was expecting. And I'm glad that we were all able to go because, again, like I said earlier, people have been waiting over a decade for this. The last time she was in the States was for KCON in 2014, right? Over 10 years. Since she had been in the States, and when she was in the States, it was just for like a small appearance, essentially. And since her debut, like pretty much since 2010, she has come out with so many amazing songs that people have wanted to see, and it's just people were waiting. A lot of people were waiting.
Oh yeah, I was talking to people while we're waiting in line, and they were like, "Yeah, Hotel de Luna. That's how I know her, and now I get to see her." And I'm like, "Wow, they've only like kind of known her since the dramas that she's been in. I'm like, yeah, it's the pent up demand was there, and I had to like always think like not everybody came from the same, you know, the same demand like you were talking about. Like they've been following her since 2014. Some people were waiting 2018. Some people were following her just the last couple years. So she's definitely built that fan base. She's definitely filled the hype for a lot of different people.
Gentlemen, can we agree that everyone had a serious case of blue balls for IU?
I mean, I got to see her, so we all got to see her, so.
Okay. But I think that's a good way to describe the demand. It's just so much pent-up anticipation, and you finally get release, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it only cost me $690 or anything. So, yeah. Pent-up release, yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good transition, Alan, because we're going to talk about the pre-concert stuff. And I'm going to start with me because my pre-concert is a bit of a long-winded story, but I'll try to keep it short. Like I said, I did not get a ticket to Los Angeles through regular means, and I was not going to pay scalper prices to see IU because some of those prices were fucking ridiculous. Like, stupid ridiculous. More than what I paid for twice, basically, for both nights. So, Alan knows that I applied through Live Nation's website for both of us. So, I asked for press access for both me and Alan on the dates that we wanted to attend. And Alan sent me a message, I can't remember how long ago it was. He got a message from Live Nation about IU. Apparently we had to fill out some sort of application form to get screened by IU's management.
Yeah, it was like updating a form. It was like updating our application or form for it. It was like a Google Doc. I think it was asking which cities that we wanted to attend. That's what I remember.
Just as a side note, Alan got a bonus of Chew, so good for you, Alan.
I'm gonna keep that story to myself.
Yes, Alan and I both filled out the application forms, and Alan got turned down, but somehow my bullshit got me into Los Angeles. So thank you, IU's management.
I got ghosted. Let's just be honest with that. I got ghosted. I didn't get a response, and you got a response. I was like, you lucky bastard.
Yes, I got a response from the application form from IU's, or actually it's from Wonderwall. So they're on behalf of IU's management. I was one of 15 press members who got to go to the IU show in Los Angeles, or Inglewood, I guess, technically, since it's the hood. But yeah, that's how I got a ticket. So I paid $0.
I think it's interesting to talk about this real briefly is that IU only had two types of tickets, General Sale and Ticketmaster Platinum. No VIP, no anything else. And have you guys given any thought to that?
I didn't even notice because I gave up after not getting any tickets.
I was under, since I was like 20K in the queue. I was at the mercy of my friends getting the tickets, and they ended up getting, I believe it was the platinum. It was floor seats, so I just remember paying an exorbitant amount, and I was like, okay, I guess we're going to IU. And at the time I asked them, I was like, was there VIP or anything? They were like, no, it was just either this seat or we seat way in the back. So we ended up getting floor seats. We ended up paying for them, and I was like, I guess that was the easiest choice that they could have made at the time. The fact there wasn't like VIP or like a sound check or any of those like perks that people would pay extra money for. I was like, this is like the easiest concert that I'm gonna go to.
Yeah, so there was only two levels of ticketing. It's Ticketmaster Platinum, which comes out to that number that you said earlier, 630 something or whatever it was, and the general sale, which comes out to around $250 for a ticket. And I gave this a lot of thought for a long period of time. Like, why would she only do two levels of ticketing? And like, first of all, as far as the $600 ticket goes, I feel like that's completely on either Live Nation or Wonderwall or whoever is profiting from these Ticketmaster, probably Live Nation because of the Ticketmaster partnership there, right? So like $600 tickets are pretty insane, honestly. But like, why no VIP? And I feel like, this is just conjecture, but maybe IU doesn't want people to be like one level over another. She wants everybody who attends the concert to feel like a VIP. You could tell because everyone got a gift at the concert, right? So I think that's kind of the way that I look at it, but I just thought it was highly interesting that there was only two levels of ticket pricing, really one level, and then Ticketmaster scalping you tickets. And no VIP. Pretty interesting.
Yes, very. Since you guys brought it up, where did you guys end up sitting in your various venues?
For us in Oakland, I was floor seats, probably 8 rows back. And towards the left-hand side, I believe I showed y'all where I was, and it was perfect. It was perfect. I'm not usually the one to record at a lot of shows because I want to absorb everything that was there, but this is probably the concert that I took the most pictures of and had the most videos of and everything, and I was just at the perfect spot. I was kind of off left to the center. And I loved it. I love being on the floor. I have never been like super close up front, and I think that would have been a little bit weird because she had the elevated platform and everything like that. But I was still able to see like the side screens and everything. I could see like the video wall behind her with the lyrics and everything like that. So I was in I felt like I was in a pretty damn good spot for not only absorbing seeing her up in front of me, but seeing the screens and everything, and the mountain of confetti. Just it felt like I was in the perfect spot. So yeah, I liked it.
I was at the back of the basically 100 level seat, lower bowl, last row.
How was the view?
It was great. I mean, IU is a solo singer who a lot of her show comes down to production and audio. So regardless of where you sit for IU, you're gonna enjoy it, honestly.
I was similar to you. I was in section 109, row 14, seat 8.
Very specific.
Yes. But that was my view. I was on the right side of the forum. So I showed you guys my picture, and I showed everyone on the site my picture before I was forced to take it down. But it was a pretty good view. And definitely lots of confetti in my area as well. Before the concert, in Los Angeles anyway, they had a little bit of a fan event for like the concert goers, or Kia had a fan event because it's a Kia forum. Basically, you sell your soul and your data to Kia for a picture. So I stood in line for that. I actually got my picture I showed you guys. I don't know what they're going to do with my data, but I guess I'm going to get emails to buy Kias in California, even though I don't live there. But yeah, I'll take it. I got some sort of memento from the show because I didn't buy anything else from that concert. So is there anything else like that for you guys at your stops, or did you just stand in line and hope to get in?
For us, I don't remember anything like that, to be honest. When we went, I met up with a friend, and we ended up going from the BART train straight into the Oakland Arena. And I remember there was a merch booth on the opposite side, but that was more for people that were coming in if they were parking. So we were just kind of lined up. We saw the big ass line, and we're just kind of like, okay, we're here. We'll get checked in, and we end up going. And I didn't see anything fancy like that. I didn't see anything that was set up to, take pictures in front of, or like you were saying, sell your soul to Kia or anything like that. Nothing like that. It was pretty cut and dry. Like it felt like the easiest concert I've ever gone to. Gosh, I even the bar that I went to that we had for the floor seats, there was nobody at this bar. I felt like I was the only one drinking at the concert. I had a $20 beer in my hand, and I tried to put it up in the photo, and I was like, this is like the easiest concert I've ever gone to. So I had no complications or no little side attractions to go visit or anything like that.
Yeah, so well, first of all, like Alan's talking about drinking. It's like, I don't know if you guys know, but like K-pop, like bartenders hate K-pop concerts because nobody drinks at K-pop concerts. Every bartender I speak to hates K-pop concerts because they make no money because nobody drinks.
I feel like the shows that I've been here in Houston, it feels like a few people drink. This was like, I was in California and I was in Oakland. I went to the bar. I was like, I'm the only one here. I'm like, what's going on? In New York, I remember like a full bar and all that stuff, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, am I the only one drinking at this show? It can't be. So, but I can definitely understand what you were talking about.
Yeah, like in Houston, I talked to the bartenders. They were like, "Oh yeah, we hate K-pop shows here." I was speaking, and I always go to a bunch of shows in California and New York, and like even people who can drink, they just choose not to drink. They don't even bother getting the wristband. Like it's really interesting, just the demographic of people who go attend the K-pop shows, and like how few people actually drink at K-pop shows, alcohol anyway. But yeah, as far as like waiting in line for me, like essentially for me, like by the time I got there, I was just waiting to get into the building. And then when I was inside is like waiting in line for merchandise, and then the show was starting. So I didn't really get a chance to see if there was anything interesting around. But yeah, that was my experience.
Okay, so I was the only one who got data mined, basically. I see. All right. I feel bad now because you guys didn't sell your souls.
Well, I mean, I feel like they pulled out more stops for LA. That seemed like it was a more special show in LA versus anywhere else.
Yeah, seemed like it. But yeah, I'm sad that you guys don't get data mined by Prudential or whoever was sponsoring Oakland.
I'm sure they have a way to data mine regardless from Ticketmaster.
Well, they'll find out that I'm the only one drinking there, so they'll send every beer and soju ad my way, I guess. So
I'm sure you'll welcome that. We mentioned this in the discussion already, but just briefly tell us what type of crowd that you saw at your stop. I think we can take a wild guess, but just tell me, was it different from the normal K-pop crowds that you normally see?
For me, it was different. I met up with my buddy Jason, and we ended up taking the BART train over from San Francisco to Oakland, and we could tell like everybody in that little train was there for a concert, and they were there for IU. We even talked, me and him, we were just talking conversation, and this young girl was like, "Hey, are you here for the IU concert?" And we said, "Yeah." And they're like, her mom was there. We're like, "Yeah, we're here for the concert too. And I'm like, if you look down this train, everybody's here for this concert. So it was everybody, like that was a full train. We were kind of like, I didn't think nothing of it, but when I talk about it, I was like, damn, everybody got to the concert at the same time I went. That's crazy. When I was lining up, I was like looking around. I was like, there's a lot of old people here. There's a lot of old Filipino people here. For some reason, I was like, I just sought them out. I was like, dang, IU, they love IU. They all want to be here. We had people in their wheelchairs, people in their walkers and stuff. I was like, they're coming out. This is awesome. And you know, people were being very kind to them. They were like, okay, you can get through and you'll be okay. And we're all just having fun here. And I did see some young people there too. It wasn't like if I was going to KCON or anything that it was primarily a lot of young people or anything. It skewed a lot of different ages, and for me, noticing like so many older people, I was kind of like, I was questioning. I was like, "Are we at the right concert?" It felt like it felt different to me. Even getting into the merch line, we had everybody. Everybody was there buying different merch. Everybody's buying the Tweety magnet and everything. I was like, dang. I'm a step slower than like my tita over here that's got here in her walker. I'm like, damn, she beat me to it. So, it was, I saw every age and everything, and everybody. It was just a reminder. It was a reality check that the IU benefited everybody. We even had IU Grandpa. IU Grandpa was like across the stadium for me, and I remember taking the photo of him, and I was like, dang, he showed up to the Oakland show just like he meant to. I was like, dang, he's here. I was like, all right, this is a different type of concert, you know. I felt like I almost felt like I was the youngest person there, and I almost felt like out of place, but not really out of place, you know. It was different. It was a different type of show.
Yeah, in New York, New Jersey. So I've been to a lot of shows, and I've been to a lot of K-pop shows. The majority of K-pop shows, I would say, skews towards the average age of early 20s. A lot of people I meet are either in their early to mid 20s or even younger, like teenagers or like late teens. But for IU, I would say the majority of people were in their late 20s to mid 30s in the show that I went to. Not as many of like the older people like Alan was referring to. Just like a lot of the people that I saw looked like they were in their late 20s to early 30s. Also, for like other K-pop shows, I find that there's a large, diverse population or diverse demographic of people who attend. Whereas with the show that I went to in New Jersey, it was like maybe 95% Asian people. A lot of Korean people, a lot of Chinese people were there. I would say that's kind of like what I was expecting. And that's pretty much how it turned out.
For me, it's kind of a blend of... LA's kind of a melting pot, right? So there's everyone there. But I basically saw, Chinese, Filipino, Korean, and then everyone else. And the ones who were like all dressed up in cosplay and stuff were all the old people. And like the ones who got front row, and you see them on the video screen, just these old Filipino guys just like dancing like they're gonna have their last dance at an IU concert and clutch their heart and die.
Okay, dude, that's how I felt. I'm like, there's so many Filipinos in Oakland, for the Oakland show. I'm like, what's going on? It was just like, do I go down the line and bless everybody? I'm like, I feel like it was so different. Like Ping was saying, a lot of concerts skew like towards the 20s or even younger. This was just, it felt a little bit different. It felt a little bit different.
I actually enjoyed being around a bunch of older people. It was refreshing.
Yeah, you know what? I felt that way too. Same for me.
Yeah, because like I'm so used to being around people who are like very, very young and have no idea what I'm talking about most of the time. And yeah, this was great. Just seeing like people from their mid-20s all the way up to like their 70s marking out for IU.
It was so weird because we were talking to the people around us, and like the girl that was next to me was probably early 20s. The guy next to her was mid 30s. People behind us, young guys that just love IU. They were wearing the lilac flowers and everything. People in front of us were older, and then you could see in the lower bowl, you see all the titas that were there. I was like, dang, it was very, it felt refreshing to me. I don't know if that's the right word, but like it was just different, and I was like, I loved it. I loved it.
Definitely a different atmosphere compared to like all the young energy that you normally get at a K-pop concert. The older energy is just a whole different type of vibe. And since there's so many Filipinos there, if you're going to get hurt, there's a lot of nurses who will attend to you right away.
How dare you, sir? How dare you go into that stereotype?
Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Let's move on to freebies. At K-pop concerts, there's always free stuff from fans. Did you get any free stuff from other people?
Yes, I got the banner, the fan banner. I'm looking at it right now. It says, "To IU who shines like gold, I'm standing you." And I remember getting that with like a little, I guess it was a photo card with IU standing in front of like an American flag or something like that. I remember that, and that was like right at the entrance. People were just handing those out, so there's a ton of those freebies. But other than that, that was just it. I didn't get anything else. Like I know people would always do like bracelets and stuff like that. I guess I went too quick to my seat to have those little handouts or anything like that. I just got that American flag one and the banner. That's all.
Ellis, how about you? Any free stuff?
Well, like by the time I was just in line to get in, and then I was in line to get merch, and then I went to my seat, so I didn't really have a chance to get anything.
Really? So no one like handing out last minute freebies at all?
Nope.
Oh. No banner? Did you get a banner at least?
I may have gotten a banner, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, like our show just felt like really, really chill. Like it didn't seem like a lot of the people who went there normally go to K-pop concerts. At least the people that were around me.
Okay, so you had more of a relaxed atmosphere. There's not like all that hype from people trying to promote their Instagrams and Twitters and TikToks on photo cards and shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, I got there and I was pretty much just lined up to go in. I don't know if there was a lot of people earlier who may have been giving out all these freebies, and I just missed all of it. But just from the look of the people around me, it didn't seem like a lot of the people that were around me were the type to prepare freebies and stuff like that. So again, like I said, very different from the usual K-pop concert crowd that I'm used to.
Ah, I see. Oh well. I got free stuff, some pictures, a banner. I'm trying to remember what it says. I'm just looking at my picture right now.
Any photo cards?
I did get a photo card. It was like IU on one side and Tweety Bird on the other side. So I think it was a fan made one, so it wasn't an official photo card or anything. And I did get the banner, and there was something else that I got, but it wasn't really that important. I can't remember what it was. People were just handing me stuff in line. It's like, okay, I'll take it, put it in my bag, and then forget about it after.
Yeah, so the banner is basically it's a banner project that was done by I guess it's like it'll say it on the banner, but it's probably some like the official IU fan club or something like that, and they prepared a different banner for every city stop where they would sing a different IU song for her as a fan song, or like the fans would sing the song for her at every stop. It was different.
Oh, okay. Because I do remember seeing a photo of IU with all the different banners from each stop. So that was pretty cool. So I only recognized the LA one, of course. And the one I have is not in pristine condition. It does not pack well. I didn't have a tube to put the banner in. Basically, the banner I have is kind of fucked up, but it's still a memento, I guess.
Oh, mine's got all sorts of creases and everything in it as well, so don't worry about that.
Okay, I wasn't sure how important the banner was as part of the concert, but I got two of them, and one of them got all ripped to shreds because it was on the floor, and then the other one I just rolled up and tried to put it nicely in my clear bag, not fuck it up. And it made it home okay, so yay. The last thing about pre-concert is merch. Did you guys buy merch? How much merch? And how much did you donate to IU?
For me, I'm looking at it right now. It's still wrapped up, but I got the Tweety magnet because I felt like the Tweety thing. I don't know. I always like WB stuff, and I always like Looney Tunes stuff, and I know she did like for her last album, she did like a collab with Tweety Bird. So I was like, okay, I'll get the magnet. And then I got the shirt, and I was really not gonna buy anything. When I looked at it, I was like, these are kind of there's nothing memorable for me. But when I put the shirt in my hand, I was like, oh, this feels like a different type of shirt. I was like, this actually feels like a legit shirt that I can wear around, and it wasn't like a normal tour shirt where it's all like I don't know how to describe it, where it's got the print on it and it's just like a normal black shirt. I was like, this shirt is legit and I could wear it around everywhere, and it was so comfortable to wear. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this shirt on right now. I know in other cities, I think in Chicago, they were saying like they didn't have enough hats to go around, so I had people like trying to hit me up for hats, and I was like, oh man, the hats went super fast too, so I wasn't able to get the hat. But I kind of regret not getting a black version of the shirt because of the texture and the feel of it. So I regret that. I didn't get a hoodie. I feel like I have like a bajillion concert hoodies now, so I didn't want to get a hoodie or anything like that. But the shirt, man, I wish I got the black version of the shirt because it feels good to wear. That's all I care about. It felt like a legit shirt from like Uniqlo or something like that. So other than that, I know they had she had light sticks, and she had like stuff for her light sticks, but I didn't buy any of that. It sold out pretty quick in front of me, even though I was pretty close up front. We had a lot of big spenders up front. A lot of the older people were opening up their wallets and everything for basically everything they bought one of everything, and I was very much surprised. I was like, okay, I guess I'm just buying a couple things. And the line for me was pretty short, but it went a little long because we had a lot of older people like buying one of everything, and I was very, very much surprised on that one.
It's really interesting to hear your take on it because you're making this shirt sound like magic. I thought the shirt was like pretty much any other tour shirt. Like I wasn't even gonna buy anything.
How dare you? How dare you? No, I don't know. Just for me, it just felt good. It felt like a normal. It felt better than a tour shirt.
I did buy the white shirt.
Yes,
but only because I felt like I wanted to have the shirt for the tour. But I don't see how it was anything special. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I thought the tour merch was kind of mid. I thought it was not really that great. But it's interesting to hear that a lot of people were excited for the hat, I guess. The only thing I bought was the t-shirt, and I already had the light stick. So I bought the light stick accessory that they were selling there, but I didn't even use it. Like, I'm not even sure if I want to change it because I really like how the light stick is already. And you were saying that the light stick sold out where you were?
I got in super early, and already I remember like, yeah, we're out of light sticks already. I'm like, I was very much surprised. I was like, I know I wasn't gonna buy a light stick, but the fact that I was like very close up front to my entrance, I was like, damn, they sold out that fast. And I was surprised. But I also saw an old Tito with like 2 light sticks in her hand, so I'm like, oh shit.
They must have only had one allocation of light sticks, I guess, because in New York, like, we had light sticks. Even at the end of the show, people were able to buy light sticks. So I guess they only had like one allocation maybe and spread it out for the entire tour. And just like by the time it got to Oakland, it was running out. How was the light stick situation where you were, Greg?
Light sticks seemed to be okay. It was mostly the clothing that was sold out in specific sizes. So I didn't really buy a lot for myself because I hated the design on the shirt. Like, I really didn't like it at all. I actually liked the design of the shirt IU was wearing during the encore more than the actual design of the shirt that was being sold to fans. I would have bought that shirt if she sold it.
See, now that's a proper take. This is the correct take. The shirt was mid at best. I'm really surprised to hear you, Alan, saying like how magical this shirt was.
How dare y'all? I love this shirt. Even though, yes, the design is kind of but I don't know. I'm looking at other tour shirts, like I'm looking at the Baby Metal shirt and an Itzy's shirt. I'm like, man, these are like generic t-shirts and everything. And I've already worn like the IU shirt like a few times. It just feels better to me.
All right. Well, I know you're not the only one who has that opinion because I see a lot of people just on the general basis of like wearing the IU shirt, strangely enough. So yeah, that's the thing. Maybe it was just your line that ran out of light sticks because the light sticks were an integral part of the show. So it's really surprising to hear that the light sticks sold out so early in Oakland. Did you find that there was not a lot of light sticks in the audience in the Oakland show?
From what I saw, it felt like there were a lot of light sticks already. In my row, like technically my row didn't have that much light sticks on that one there. It felt like if I could have bought one, I was already lucked out. Like if I wanted to buy one at that time, I was already SOL at that point. So I was kind of like, all right, I guess I'm just getting the magnet and the shirt at that point. I felt like everybody there that already had a light stick already had bought it beforehand and everything. I didn't feel like I felt like it was very hard for anybody to come in and just want to get a light stick at the concert.
That's interesting. Yeah, because before this tour, it was very difficult to get her light stick. So yeah, that's an interesting situation. I wonder how it was for other people in Oakland.
Sounds like Oakland kind of got the short end of the stick in regards to light sticks compared to LA, where we got the short end of the stick on clothing. You guys saw my pictures of the concert that I got from IU's management, so obviously no one was short of a light stick in LA.
Well, I'd rather have a light stick than those crappy shirts.
How dare y'all? How dare y'all?
I think I know why Alan likes the shirt. It's because he does not have a decadent American body that, that Uniqlo hates. So
hey, okay, there is one fault of the white shirt, and I regret not getting the black shirt, and it's that because it does show a little bit of like, your nipples and everything like that. So I'm kind of like, well, shit, I gotta wear an undershirt with this one, but yes,
Free the nipple,
right? But that's why I kind of regret not going to get the black shirt. But it was weird. Like at the end of the concert, they corralled us to exit the stadium, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't go to the merch booth to get any extra merch or anything like that." So I only got to remember that one merch booth that I was able to enter to. So, but yeah, I gotcha. I understand, Greg. I understand from your point of view.
Yeah. So, Alan, I hope you enjoy rubbing up against that shirt for the rest of your life. I mean, it sounds like you really, really love that shirt.
I love that shirt already. It's like my favorite. Well, not my favorite, but it's the most comfortable tour shirt I ever bought in the last year or two.
Gentlemen, we'll talk about the IU concert itself. We've discussed where we sat previously, so let's skip that question. And let's go to the more important question. Were you allowed to take pictures and video?
From where I was, they didn't like lock us down or anything. I remember seeing like fan cams in Oakland and things like that, and people were pretty laxed on it. It wasn't like I didn't seek out like the whole concert or anything like that, but like I was saying earlier, this was probably the concert I took the most photos on and recorded the most videos of, and it was a fun experience. But obviously I'm more of an eyes person. Like I like experiencing my concerts with my eyes and not through the screen of my phone. But having it on the side there, just recording what I could, it felt like everybody was recording too. So the no photography rule, when I remember sharing that photo, I think, Greg, you were saying like, yeah, nobody's going to follow that rule. And you're right. It felt like nobody did follow that rule, but it didn't feel like I don't recall any stories about people getting kicked out or anything like that. Down to the floor seats, everybody was pretty chill about it. Everybody was pretty cool about like, we had some pretty tall dudes in front of us, and my friend Sheree was kind of short. I'm not the tallest person, but we were able to kind of, how would I say, move into the spaces and not impede anybody's view or anything like that. So it was a pretty chill concert. It was pretty chill for everybody that was watching, people that wanted to record or anything like that. Yeah, pretty good.
LA, they had fucking super cops everywhere. As soon as you entered the building, no photography. As soon as you sat on your seat, no photography. And they said, first time we see you put your phone up, you get a warning. Second time, get the fuck out. So, yeah, it was really, really weird. Like, in one way, everyone was complaining, but by the end of the night, no one was complaining anymore. So it just seemed very, very weird that every other tour stop in this concert series got to do whatever the hell they wanted. But this one, something must have been going on. Were they filming it? Were they doing a documentary? What? I don't know what, but yeah, no pictures. So I got that one picture that was taken off the site, and that was it.
There was a mutual friend of mine that was there in LA as well, and he was also, I was like, dude, you didn't post anything. He was like, yeah, it was very difficult to record anything in that show. It was very difficult to take any pictures because, in his section, they had the they had the security that was warning people, and there were people that were getting kicked out and everything. So it that sucks for you guys, but I'm wondering if there was an ulterior motive, like Greg was saying, like they were recording for like a documentary later on or anything like that.
Yeah. Again, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure, not 100%, but I'm sure they must have been recording it for a potential movie in the future.
Yay! So you're saying that maybe one day I will see myself in an IU movie?
Unlikely, but you'll see IU in an IU movie.
Yeah. You suck, Greg. Sorry, you're not going to show up.
Well, I did... I did see like a lot of staff interviewing people before the show, so I mean, it kind of ties into why you can't film inside, but oh well. It actually made for a better show in the end.
The only person that got special treatment in Oakland was IU Grandpa, and that was it. IU Grandpa and his wife, because I remember seeing the photos on the Instagram and things like that, but I don't think we had any super special or super specific and on our side.
Let's move on from amateur photographers and videographers to what was going on stage. What did you guys think of the concert? Let's go in order of noobness first. So I won't go yet because I have a long story, but Alan is the next newbie type of IU fan, so what did you think?
Oh man, I remember Goosebumps, and I remember I remember going into my seat. I remember getting ahead of my friends, and they were like, hey, make sure you secure our gift, because there was reports of people like taking the gift that IU was given to everybody, so I had to make sure that I secured their gift and everything like that. We had really cool people around us. We had people pretty hyped for the show and everything. I loved it, man. I was having goosebumps. For a lot of the show, I was just trying to absorb everything. I remember she has subtitles, which I can't remember the last concert I went to that had subtitles or lyrics up on the screens or anything like that. So that was that was like a good green flag for me, because you had people that were singing along to her songs, and they could sing with her as well. I loved the over the cam shot of like the elevated stage and everything. We didn't get to see it too much, or I don't remember seeing it too much. I think you had to have been a screen or watching on the screen a lot to see that part. But I remember that. The songs that kind of stood out for me was more like 8. I just remember getting goosebumps on that one, because that's probably one of like my like IU go-to songs on that. I was very much enamored by her presence and everything. The one thing that brought me back to reality was like knowing that there was confetti cannons like every other song. I was like, this is that it took me, I thought it was strange, to be honest. I was like, it felt like every other song there was confetti. Everybody was covered in confetti right away. Everybody, like, my seats were covered in confetti. And it just felt like that was like the running meme, right? Like she went crazy on the confetti budget and everything. But man, those middle parts where she was like chilling with the I guess the guitarist and everything like that, it was a really chill concert, and I loved being at a chill concert and everything like that. what I noticed with the the floor seat people, we obviously stood up at every song and everything like that. But I remember looking around, I was like, everybody's sitting down. Even lower bowl was sitting down. No need to stand up. Everybody was really chill. Everybody was enjoying IU being there, seeing her there. We did have the barking, the Arsenio Hall, the hoo-hoo-hoos and everything, and she was actually kind of thrown off by that, where it ended up being like being an ongoing joke the rest of the night, that she was so absorbed by it. She loved the hoo-hoo-hoos and everything like that, that the drummer ended up like kicking the kickstand and everything like that while we were doing the hoo-hoo-hoo and everything. So I love this concert. It was just, I had a smile on my face basically from the beginning to the end, and it was just for so many different things. So I loved it.
Awesome. I am the super noob, as I mentioned. I know I use big songs. I know some of her more recent works more. I guess I can memorize them now. But yeah, this was a very interesting show. I did watch the Golden Hour concert before I even made the trip to LA, so I kind of had an idea of what her show might be like, but to see it live was very different.
Sorry, no hot air balloon or anything like that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that she was in Inglewood. Someone probably would have shot it down. So it's probably better that she didn't have the hot air balloon. But yeah, the production was not as grand as her shows in Korea, but that's okay, because for a solo act, it's definitely a lot. She definitely had a lot of extras that a lot of other solo acts probably don't bother doing when they transport their show to the States. So I'm glad that at least some of the production value was there. And like Alan, I liked part 3 and part 4 the most out of the set list, the main set list. But the best part was hearing the crowd try to sing IU out for the second encore. So apparently that is something that everyone participated in the previous stops. It was a different song for each stop. For Los Angeles, it was Celebrity. And it was the worst karaoke session I've ever heard from a crowd ever. Because no one could read Korean. No one could read Romanized Korean or Hangul. And all you heard was a bunch of Americans mumbling as much as they possibly could in Korean until the English Celebrity part came, and then they screamed their fucking heads off. So IU did note that, because when she came out, she said, "Oh, you sang the English part very loud." So I'm pretty sure she was probably in the back laughing her ass off at the poor karaoke session. So that was probably the best crowd moment that I've seen in a concert in a very long time, that wasn't forced or wasn't coerced or wasn't pandering. So that I like that. And yeah, I just like Alan said, you are enamored by her presence. I mean, just to see her there on stage with your eyes, and not through a cell phone camera, which was also great because, like I said, people stopped complaining and just got into the concert because they weren't worrying about social media credit. They were just there to be in the moment. So all I saw were light sticks and no cell phones, which again, fantastic. So yeah, I left a bigger fan of IU as a musician. And like I said in my review, I should probably go back and actually pay attention to some of her older stuff and see what I'm missing.
It's really interesting to hear your guys' take on her concert, because it really just sounds like you had no idea what to expect when it comes to IU. But as somebody who's listened to IU for a long time and is really familiar with her work, it pretty much is exactly what I expected would come from her concert. For anyone who's seen the concert movie of her previous tour from 2 years ago, you'll know that IU puts a lot of effort into her shows. It's not just the singing and performance, but the entire production of her show. There's a lot of thought that goes into every little bit of the show that she produces and puts out there. And I think that's supremely important for a solo singer because, you know, with a group, an idol group, there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of reduce the workload for different members. You know, there's a lot of production things that you can do to really improve the quality of the show. But for a solo singer, you know, you have to carry that stage entirely on your own. And I had known that, you know, she's obviously not going to be able to do the type of production that she does in Korea. So when you guys are talking about confetti, like how much confetti was used during the show, to me, that's just kind of like the obvious. That's like the easiest thing that she can do to really do an energy buildup. You know, everything about a concert is managing crowd energy, and you know, production effects like what she has in Korea is not as easily accessible for her over here. So especially on such a large scale tour as touring the States, you know, the United States is such a large country, and managing the logistics of doing such a large tour on multiple arenas throughout the country, it's not easy, right? So whoever managed the production, whether it's Live Nation or Wonderwall or whoever it is, you know, like I can completely understand the limitations that were placed onto the overall production of the show. And pretty much watching the show is pretty much everything that I expected that she would do as far as production effects go. You know, like as much as I would like a hot air balloon on our tour or anything of that scale, it's just like realistically not feasible for an arena tour like this. You know, maybe in the future, maybe 2026, like I had predicted earlier, if she does a stadium tour, then she has a lot of time to really plan something a lot more on the scale of like a Beyonce or a Taylor Swift type of show, right? Like if you had seen their concerts, like they had some really insane production for their most recent tours, right? So I fully expect IU for her next tour in the United States, if it happens, which, you know, I'm sure it will. And I'm going to guess it's going to be a stadium tour. I'm sure it will be for that scale. As far as the set list goes, the thing with IU is that she has been in the industry for so long and has put out consistently so many songs that for the majority of IU fans, there's going to be elation as well as disappointment, because like you're always going to get songs on the set list that you're like super hyped for, and her set list is always going to be missing songs that will really disappoint you that she didn't perform. So when it comes to like seeing IU in concert, yeah, you just have to be fully prepared to just enjoy what the production that she has to offer. Because if you come in hoping for a certain song and you don't get it, but you know that may be the case, but you also got like all these other songs that you probably fully enjoyed and were hoping to see. So like for me, obviously this is my first time seeing IU live in person, and yeah, like literally every song that she performed, I was like so happy, elated to be able to listen to live. But yeah, I mean, she didn't perform a lot of songs that I really love, and it was a little bit disappointing. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the embarrassment of riches or suffering from success meme, where it's just she has too much amazing music, too many crazy good songs that somebody's gonna leave disappointed like they didn't get to hear something. And yeah, I mean, that's just a testament to the quality of artist that IU is, from her production to her music. Her show was just everything that I expected, and I expected the best, and she came through. And it was just an amazing show, 3 hours long. Honestly, if she had the choice, I believe she probably would have booked longer and done an even longer show, because she is known for her encores. And if she could have, I'm sure she would have performed for even longer.
That was like you were saying, I was like, she has so many great songs that you would feel disappointed. Like if you had your favorite song and she didn't perform it, you would feel a little disappointed. And I knew some people that were kind of, they felt that way. And it was a long concert. It didn't seem like 3 hours to me, but the runtime and everything like that does say differently. And it was like, man, she could have gone on for another hour, and I would have not had any complaints on that one there. I'm fortunate that Oakland had technically the most songs out of the whole tour, so we got to hear more than other places. It was great because there was two guys behind us that were like, they had lays that were basically in LILAC, and they were just screaming for LILAC. And then it was the first encore song, so we got to joke with them like, dude, she heard you, man, you got your LILAC. They're like, perfect, and she was even saying like, yeah, the signs that y'all are holding up, that's not my song, so I can't sing that one. She was being very playful with us. She was very, very cool about everything too. I was gonna make a point about something, but it could have gone on like another 30 minutes, another hour, and I would have been all in for it. I was so involved, I was so absorbed in IU, and I was like, she was in basically her street clothes at the encore. I was like, dude, this is the best. We could just chill here and everything. She there was like two of her dancers had a birthday, and she made sure to shout them out. And I think for a few of the songs, she was like talking back to her band, and she was making sure like, hey, do y'all know these songs? Because I kind of want to sing this song. And the band, I remember the band going through like their sheet music and everything. They were flipping through it, and she was like buying time for them to make sure that they were ready. I was like, this is like legit, like a roulette. Like she's really picking like songs that she really wants to sing, that people wanted to do. But she wanted to make sure everybody was set. Like the live band was great the whole night. Like the live band went nuts. There was two percussionists. Like the percussionist at the end, the drum guy at the end was trying to throw his drumsticks out into the crowd. We were like giving them props and everything too. So it was like a total team effort, and I felt like it just felt so different. It felt very positive and everything. And IU was like the catalyst for everything like that. So it was such a great concert, man. I will always remember it from the Oakland side of things and the point of view that I had. What about you guys? Were y'all able to see things like that where she was like talking to the band and things like that?
I guess I'll go. Yeah, she didn't stall for time in LA as much, but you could tell that her communication with the band and her dancers was always on point. And like Alan said, that band was incredible. Like, they're pretty damn good. Like, usually with K-pop, and I guess J-pop as well, you don't see a lot of live bands. Everything's always a pre-recorded MR, right? So to hear these songs actually arranged with actual acoustic instruments and stuff is a completely different listening experience compared to the studio recording.
One thing I remember, she was joking with us like during the concert. She's like, they call me the dance machine in Korea, and everyone was laughing because she's always like uncomfortable with a few dances and things like that. So it was just everybody was laughing, everybody was positive and things like that. I don't know if you guys got that too, but she was saying like she was the dance machine back in Korea.
I'm just smiling here, like listening to your guys' experiences, and it's like, man, this is what it was like when you first like how it found out about IU's concerts and stuff like that. Because like anyone who knows IU, like this is just her normal thing. This is her sense of humor. This is her personality. This is just what she does, regardless. Yeah, every concert since like she started touring, this is just kind of how it is, and that's one of the reasons that she's so beloved. And I'm glad to see that you guys, as relatively new IU fans, are able to experience that in person.
It was always very like she was either making fun of herself to make everybody laugh. I just remember that she was trying to do dances and she was like, "Oh, I got that one a little off, but I'm pretty sure y'all didn't see that, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, holy crap." She's like, it was just so funny, and everybody was just so happy to be around her. Like, it was just fun. It was fun. It was funny, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like I was seeking out her IU perfection or anything like that, but it was just different. It was just, I just loved it. I love her. She's so adorable. She's so funny, man. It was great.
Yeah, like Alan said, it's a completely different vibe from the typical K-pop concert that we attend. It's like I've never actually sat down for an entire concert yet. So this was really, really weird for me to be sitting for an entire concert, but still, moving around, bobbing my head, seeing all the other people around me, getting hyped, even though they were sitting. So, it's like I said, it's a really refreshing experience compared to the type of stuff that I've been attending since I've gotten back into K-pop. And I just want to give a special shout out to all those people in the front row, because there was parts of the LA concert where she was actually giving away stuff to people in the crowd who were getting hyped. And there's like this old Filipino dude, he got like a rose from IU. And there was a lady who was like in section 108 or 107, a little bit further away from me. She was like dancing her ass off and she could see her. And I think she got a lucky coin from IU for that. And yeah, it was like really strange to see an artist actually give away gifts to the audience in person. Like usually you get those after the show, right? But to see like the artist say that guy and then send like a minion down to give him a present right there and then and there is very interesting to me. So
yeah, we had a couple of those too that were they were dancing and they were on the screen and they were like, "Hey, you get to have this gift from her." I was like, "Dang, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool." So it's different because I guess it's because she's a soloist that, you know, she's able to be the center of attention and she's able to focus, and you know, everybody's looking and paying attention to what she's looking at, and they're up on the screen and she gets excited and we get excited for the person that she's looking at. So yeah, I was very like, oh, she's killing it out there. This random fan, I was like, oh man, she's killing it out there. She really loves IU. Or this sign that she's put up on there, you know, she was reading all the signs and everything. So yeah, I totally feel what you mean.
I mean, you guys keep talking about like how different it was compared to previous shows, but I mean, you guys just like regularly frequent idol shows. You got to remember that IU's not an idol. Like, she is just another Korean music artist. Not just another Korean music artist, but she is like the Korean music artist. And never in her career was she ever an idol. And her performances, her concerts have never been anything like an idol. So, yeah, it doesn't really make sense to expect anything like you may have experienced at an idol show, at an IU show. And you know, IU kind of, her show is her show. And now that you've done an IU show, you can kind of expect what will happen at the next IU show. But there's nobody else that does a show like an IU show. So it's again, once again, you know, like I'll say, it's interesting to hear you guys' perspectives as somebody who doesn't really know much about IU, but this is just her thing. This is her thing. This has been her thing. It's always been her thing, and it's going to continue to be her thing. You mentioned the coin earlier. Did she catch the coin in the first go for your guys' stops?
I don't remember, to be honest.
So in her song Coin, which is in part 2, she flips a coin and then she catches it overhand. And that's kind of like one of the gimmicks of that song when she performs it live. And in New York, she caught it the first time. So I'm just really curious to see if she caught it the first time for you guys.
I think she did. Because if she didn't catch it, it probably would have been a bigger deal, right? So I think she did in Oakland.
Yeah, no one in LA said, "Oh shit, she dropped the coin." So I'm pretty sure she got it.
Well, it's not really something that like people call out, but that's the coin that she gives out to the crowd or to the lucky fan. So I'm just curious to see if she had caught it like on the first go there. But I mean, you know, like she's done it a lot of times, so usually she'll get it. So I'm just curious to see if there was any misses, essentially. Just real quick, like, you guys know about like the light stick central control, right?
Yes.
Did that enhance your concert experience?
From where I was sitting, not really. Like, the people around me I didn't see many light sticks like in the immediate vicinity of me. I would have had to turn around to see, you know, the lower bowl and everything with light sticks. But obviously, I'm looking towards the stage, and I don't think that made a difference to me.
For me, absolutely, especially with no cell phones on, and it actually was like a visual cue for me. So like, you know, after each part finished and she was getting ready to do the next set of songs, as soon as I saw the light stick start lighting up, I knew, okay, next song's starting.
Yeah, it's just really appreciated when a K-pop artist, like, we have these light sticks that are capable of being remotely controlled centrally. yet so few people utilize it. So, like 17 has used it. There's been a few shows actually this year that have used it, but like IU, like the way that they utilize the light sticks for this tour or for this concert was just really beautiful, honestly. And it's really great to see a lot of people with the IU light stick. At least it was in New Jersey. I don't know how it was. Again, it sounded like there might have been some light stick shortages in Oakland or something like that. But like there were so many light sticks in New Jersey. And, like a lot of times I'll go to a K-pop show, like an idol show, and these people are just bringing like anybody's light stick. A lot of people don't even have light sticks. And it just honestly, the experience is never as good as when everybody, like a lot of people have the artist's light stick and the central control is on, because it just, it really makes the stadium or the arena really pop with all that, beautiful color. And, just speaking as somebody who really pays attention to like those kind of details, I really was happy to see IU with that beautiful light stick show. Essentially, it was like a show in itself for this tour.
Oh yeah, it was definitely nice to see, especially in a full arena, and everything is in sync, and
it's not just in sync, because like it's somehow in waves. Like I know, like in Korea, you actually have to put in your seat number and stuff like that, and then it will like have a specific programming that will really make it individual. It's like if you're familiar with LED lights, there's like different kinds of LED lights. There's one where there's one where the LEDs all have to be the same color, but then there's LEDs where you can individually have different colors for each LED. So in Korea, you actually can get it where every single light stick is the color that you want it to be. Where unfortunately we don't have that kind of, we haven't reached that level in the States yet. But it's still like the way that they had it synchronized for this tour was still amazing to see.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's just a very nice addition to what's going on stage. So definitely better than the disorganized idol concerts. So I'll say that.
No Luna light sticks or Dreamcatcher light sticks at your shows?
No, everyone was sporting an IU light stick. Thankfully, no one was like trying to be cool and bring a different person's light stick. I think there was a bit of a mutual agreement among fans that you can only have an IU light stick at this show. I don't know about Alan. Maybe someone had a Dreamcatcher staff at his show. I don't know.
I don't remember any. I don't remember anybody with any third party light stick or anybody else's. I just remember just seeing just the IU ones.
Now we are at the part of the show that differed for every single one of us, and that is the second encore. So I know that as the tour progressed, the encore list got longer, and Lucky Alan got a lot of songs. 7 songs, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, how was the second encore for you? And were you sad that you didn't get to hear the songs that you liked?
Before we get started here, I know you guys are relatively new IU fans, so if you have seen the movie, you'll know that she retired a couple of songs, namely Palette and Good Day. And the key point there is that she has retired it from her official set list. But the second encore is never official. So whenever, I don't know if she made it clear at your guys' shows, but she says when she comes out the second time, she is, it's the unofficial encore. So definitely, that's the moment where you can get the retired songs.
The encore. When in our show, we had so many signs with so many different songs on it. On those signs, people were pulling up their phones and putting on their songs that they want to hear and everything. I didn't know, because I'm a person that doesn't want to know the set list before a concert, doesn't want to be spoiled by anything like that. It doesn't want to be spoiled by what they were going to do for encore and everything like that. So I was super surprised. There were so many people that had their signs ready to go and everything, and you could see good day all over the place, LILAC all over the place. And she was picking and choosing, and every time, like, she was like really good about it. Excuse me. I was surprised by how many we got. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs. So we got like 8 encore songs, even though there were like first verses for like a few of them. She was doing some of them a cappella. So I was like, man, in my head at that time, I was like, I wonder if other shows got this song, or I wonder if other places. I was like, LILAC, great. I'm pretty sure everybody got LILAC. So I was like, okay, everybody's getting LILAC. But
not everybody got LILAC.
Not everybody got LILAC? Are you kidding me? Damn.
No.
Oh, man. So for me, I was in my head, I was like, okay, we got LILAC. I wonder if, Atlanta got LILAC, and, that was like my first instinct, and then I was like absorbed into the song. And I remember she did Good Day, and the crowd went nuts for Good Day, and I was like, I wonder why everybody went nuts for Good Day. And then I remember seeing like other shows didn't get Good Day, or like you were saying, Ping, like Good Day was probably one of the songs that she quote unquote retired at the time from the movie and everything like that. I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize that was one of those songs. Like, that was great to hear. Like Gandhara, I was like, did anybody else request Ganadara at their city? I was like, dang, she was really putting on a few more songs. I was really like, is this concert gonna end? She kept going and going, and it wasn't until like the next day I was like, oh damn, she did a total of 29 songs in Oakland. I was like, damn, that was awesome. Thank you, IU. Thank you to the fans too that were requesting the songs, because I was like, man, let's keep this show going. And it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, just to interject here, Washington, the DC show, no LILAC for you. Sorry.
I'm sure they got something else good.
Ping, weren't you saying like you were not upset, but like jealous at other cities for the other songs that they got?
I mean, yeah, we didn't get any songs. We got 4 songs.
1, 2, oh damn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What else can I say?
I wonder, that wasn't like a time constraint or anything, hopefully. But dang. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got 4 songs. At least we got LILAC. We did get Palette. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I fully expected that it could happen. And, the Oakland encore, second encore, and the Los Angeles second encore was just infinitely better than New Jersey. But yeah, I don't know. Like, did you guys have anybody leaving before the second encore? I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people leaving before the first encore. and I saw even more people leaving before the
Lame.
second encore. So I feel like maybe they just didn't know.
I don't remember anybody leaving for my show. Definitely around the floor area, nobody left. I remember taking a glance at, you know, the lower bowl. I don't remember anybody leaving, but dang, man.
I think the difference is that you didn't have that many people in front of you and you didn't turn around that much, whereas Greg and I had a lot of people in front of us and we could see a lot of people.
Maybe you're right on that.
Yeah, there were actually quite a few people around me who were trying to get out of the hood as soon as possible. And yeah, it kind of sucked for them because, I mean, you're there, might as well be there for the entire show, right? But if you got to catch your Uber or if you don't want to get shot, I mean that's totally on you.
I mean, I feel bad. I feel so bad for anybody who missed the Los Angeles second encore. Honestly, if you missed the second encore for New Jersey, you probably would have been fine, honestly. But missing the second encore for Oakland or Los Angeles, man, I feel really bad for you.
I feel like because so many people had to take the BART train out of the arena and everything, I felt like everybody was there from start to finish on that one. But you may be right. Maybe a few people left. Maybe the older fans that were there, maybe they just wanted to peace out after, you know, the first encore, and they had to go to, you know, they had a long trip home to go home. It literally took me an hour to get back home, back to my hotel. So it was probably a long night for some other people. So I can understand if you left early, but man, she put on some of the good stuff at on the encore, and I actually loved her street clothes. I have a favorite photo that I put on my wallpaper now and it's one of her just in her street clothes and her dancers in her street clothes. And I'm like, I kind of like IU just in jeans and flannel and whatnot, and and she was so I guess free from the normal set list that she was just having a little bit extra fun at the end.
Yeah, it seemed like that. In LA, she specifically said, in America, time is money, so we have to get through these songs pretty quick. So some of the songs were not full versions. Others were.
I also think it kind of leads into that hypothesis where the LA show is being recorded, because if it's being recorded, they really need to stick within a certain time limit.
Like I'm looking at the LA set list, and it literally says lullaby, snippet, good day, snippet, ending scene, snippet. I'm like, dang, she only sang like one line from each song? That sucks.
I'll be honest, I've been waiting over a decade to see Good Day live, and then she retired it, and then she didn't perform it in New Jersey, and she performed it at other stops, and I'm still pretty salty about that.
I could totally understand. Sorry about that, bro. But Greg, I was like, man, you should make that sign that says ABCD on it and see if she could sing a snippet out of that one.
That's not my song. I can't sing that. But yeah, at least we got in Los Angeles. At least we got some interesting requests. I mean, I didn't expect ending scene at all, and yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, I wish she was given more time, because I'm pretty sure this concert would have gone all night if she was allowed to do it. Because that's what I hear about Korea, is like she will go into like super overtime and get all the songs in.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised she wasn't like tired or exhausted, or like she was a real professional, and like her voice held up like the whole 3 hours and everything. I was thinking like, man, she was ready to make these concerts just like short and sweet and to the point and head on over to the next town and everything. Like, I remember she had issues with the what was the whole Windows computer thing? The not Counter-Strike, but like Cyber-Strike or something like that.
Oh,
Oh, you
CrowdStrike.
mean the security software that fucked up all the patches?
Yeah, CrowdStrike.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's CloudStrike. That's what it was.
CrowdStrike.
CrowdStrike.
I'm not doing an Asian accent. It's CrowdStrike with an R.
Sorry. For me, I heard it as Cloud Strike, and I thought it was Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. And I was like, oh, Cloud Strife. Oh, man, this is an awesome problem to have. But I remember reading that she was in Atlanta, and one of her flights was part of the whole issue with that. So she had to take like a 10-hour drive to DC, and apparently everything went okay over there, and she didn't have any issues like voice wise or stamina wise or anything like that. So they got a good show out of her out of there. So I was like very surprised that her health and her stamina and her endurance was great throughout the whole tour. So I'm just happy that was great.
Maybe that's why they didn't get LILAC. I had to drive 10 fucking hours. I'm not singing this song.
Poor DC.
Did you suffer any post-concert depression after this?
For me, it wasn't until I was on the plane and I couldn't sleep during my midnight flights, and when I threw up Apple Music and there was the Essentials, IU Essentials, and I was like, oh, and there was like somebody had put the concert set list too, so that was like, okay, let me just throw this on. And then I was like, shit, I saw an awesome concert, and I'm kind of depressed that I'm heading back home to 95-degree weather, and I'm like, oh, god damn it. And I'm heading back home like in the middle of 1 a.m. and I gotta work the next day. I was like, damn, this sucks. And I was like, you know what? I had a great time in San Francisco. I had a great time in Oakland. I had a great time at IU. I had a great time with my friends. So I was like, yeah, I got a little bit of depression afterwards.
For me, I was not really depressed, but I was, I guess, the only thing that I was depressed about was not necessarily like the concert, like post-concert, but because I didn't get to see Good Day. And I was highly considering trying to go to another stop just to see Good Day. But unfortunately, a lot of things just coincided and didn't make it possible for me to book a flight and get a hotel and buy a resale ticket to try to see, just for the chance to see Good Day. But I really wanted to go to Los Angeles so bad because I was already in LA for KCON. I would have just had to stay another week, but yeah, it just didn't align this time. So really, that's kind of the only thing that I was upset about. And like at the end of the day, at least I still got to see IU, and hopefully one day I will get to see Good Day. But if not, then it may be a life regret. Hopefully not.
Yeah, it still sucks that you didn't get to see that song. But for me, I don't think I was depressed at all because, being the complete IU noob that I am, I don't think I was as invested in the concert as other people who attended. So
also, I think you just had like a huge blessing of just being able to go.
Yes, I considered myself very, very fortunate to have been screened and accepted by IU's management for press access. So I I definitely was on a high about that, and you know, I came back home and I was still very happy about my concert experience, and you know, I had to provide proof of an article to IU's management, so you know, I didn't want to put anything sad in there, so I put the most positive review I could, an honest review that I could, and the only thing they complained about was pictures. So I guess that's a good sign. So I think it's definitely, as a K-pop fan, I think it's definitely one of the rare achievements that you can say you have, being able to go to an IU concert.
But I mean, I know what you mean. I know what you mean by like a rare thing. It's literally one thing off your checklist. You could be like, I saw IU in concert, and not many people could say that. And it's great that all three of us got that checked off, and we can enjoy hopefully a future concert.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I feel bad for like the other people who got stuck in the queue at Ticketmaster, or those who had to pay extortionist prices for their seats. But I mean, if it's a concert that is incredibly rare to see in America, then it is worth the expense. So I hope all of you people who paid a slightly higher premium to see IU got the most out of the show and enjoyed it as much as we have. That's about it for our concert experience and all things IU. So gentlemen, do you have any closing thoughts on this whole IU goodness?
Not really. I mean, we've seen IU. Like, that's kind of an end game level type of achievement in, in K-pop. You know, like, there's so many people in Korea that would love to see IU. And she does like so many shows there, but there's still people in Korea who have not seen IU. So to say that we've seen her is an achievement in itself. And the only thing that I can hope for is that she'll come back. And, you know, we'll get to see her again. It was just an amazing show. I don't know if it'll crack my top 5 or top 10. You know, just twice. The twice concerts have been too amazing. But definitely, like, as far as production goes, and just like the aura, the mystique, the fact that, you know, you're able to see the most popular artist, musical artist in Korea, and you know, she's also a renowned actress and YouTuber. It's just mind-blowing, honestly, even still to think about that we got to see IU. And again, can just hope for more shows in the future, that it's not such a rare thing to see IU in the US. And you know, hopefully she continues to grow and continues to put out great music, great dramas. I expect next year will be more of a acting focused career, rather an acting focus, or she'll be more focused on acting next year. And you know, she'll come out with an album in 2026 and maybe a world tour that includes the United States. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Just another memorable concert. Like I said earlier, just great to check IU off the checklist and everything like that. I've been talking about her concert nonstop to my friends ever since I got back, and you know, so many good memories with my friends that I went with my friends that I met there, the people that I was able to meet and introduce myself to. it's just going to be another memorable concert that I can always fall back and talk to about at any point when people mention, like, you know, who have you seen, or what was your favorite concert, or what's a memorable concert. I can always go back to IU and everything like that. And to be honest, it made me more of a fan. I'm listening to her more regularly now, and it's just like I'm just so fortunate to have good friends that help me out with tickets to go and to go see them, and I just have a very awesome time. I just love being out there, and maybe another tour, hopefully a little bit closer to home, but hopefully another city I could try to go out and see you guys there as well, and hopefully, cross the fingers, we'll go as press again at this time. Or, but yeah, I'm down for another IU concert, just like everybody else that I've talked to. So I have nothing but great memories and great thoughts about IU. I can't wait for her next single that comes out, and I can't wait for if she does another drama. I'm ready. Give me more. I'm here.
For me, I'm glad I have achieved this platinum level trophy, and I hope that I can get another one whenever she goes on tour again. I doubt she will ever come to Canada, but please come to Canada. It's a lot easier for me to get to your concerts if it's in my home country. But yeah, I'm very pleased with what I saw. And I am a better fan of IU for it, and I will do my best to support her musically, as I have for her dramas and her YouTube, and whatever she's selling me to buy, be it a car, jewelry, soju, whatever it is.
You're gonna buy a car because of IU now?
Maybe. I'm due for another car.
Damn.
she sells me a good electric car, I'll do it. But it'll probably be a Kia, because Kia has all my data. But yeah, it's a good time. And I'm glad that, like Alan said, I'm glad all three of us got to experience it. And hopefully more of us at the site will get to experience it again, and hopefully we get to do it together, because being all in one location and marking out for IU would be fun, kind of like what we did for Twice. So I'm hoping that becomes a reality. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks much for listening, everyone. I hope that those of you who have gone to the American stops, or any of the stops on IU's world tour, can relate to us and feel the joy that we have expressed at seeing the mythical Pokemon. Yeah, that's it. I hope all of you have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. All right, people, we're done. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
This has been a Selective Hearing production. Please visit selectivehearing.com to download other podcast episodes.